Up, live on the scene, Lower Manhattan. Share this video, hit the thumbs up, follow me on The Podcast Was Sold on Spotify, The Podcast Was Sold on Instagram. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Monday, June the 16th, 2025. Not a good day for Puff. Not a good day for Puff, in my opinion. Walk on wood, what's up? Walk on wood. All right, so as you know, Puffy's attorney, Alexandra Shapiro, filed a motion yesterday with the court. I got a copy of that. It's a 14-page document. And right off the rip, the defense submits this letter in further support of its vigorous opposition to striking juror number 6, a black man. Do me a favor, give that video a thumbs up. Boxing fan, ×4. Thank you for the super chat. I got to court. I got up there about 8:58. The judge was already into his response. Yesterday, Alexandra Shapiro filed a motion with the court to resist and to support and detail the reasons why juror number 6 should remain on the jury. Now that juror number 6 is off the jury, juror number 6 was a black male. There's only one black male left on the jury. I think he was replaced with a white male. They talked about something. I think they both, the defense and the prosecution, has to question this new juror, whatever that means. But at the end of the day, juror number 6 has been dismissed. This was a blow for Puff. It's not a good thing for Puffy. Today wasn't a good day, in my opinion. When you have a jury of your peers, your true peers, you feel better about your situation. Puffy being a black male, I think Puffy is a foundational black American male. And Alexandra Shapiro talks about that. She talks about that in page 2 of a 14-page document. The fairness of the trial depends in part on having jurors with backgrounds similar to Mr. Combs share their perspectives on the evidence with other jurors from diverse backgrounds during deliberations. Removing this particular juror will deprive Mr. Combs of that important perspective, and it is no answer to simply say that there are other black jurors or other males on the jury. So, you know, that's where we are. You know, I'm disappointed, me personally, as a foundational black American male, you know, I'm disappointed, right? You know, and Alexandra Shapiro, who is a white woman, she goes in great detail about, you know, the discrimination and the issues that go on with, you know, the criminal justice system and foundational black American men. Now, me, myself, having been in the federal system, I know this firsthand, how a lot of this goes down. And, you know, so, you know, in that respect, you know, it's personal to me because I've gone through the system and I've heard the stories of what the system has done. You know what's funny? When I was at Morgantown, FCI Morgantown, when I was in federal prison, there was about 1,100 to 1,200 inmates. And out of that 1,100 to 1,200 inmates, greater than 80% were foundational black American men. And I may be low. It may be even higher than that. So I've seen firsthand how the criminal justice system, Sean, what's up? Puffy will be okay, brother. The truth is the truth. They knew they was losing, so they used this card, and this sorry ass judge allowed it. You know, I've heard stories when I was in the joint, foundational black American men, first drug offense, first non-violent drug offense, 240 months, 20 years. I've heard stories, somebody that I knew, somebody that I spoke to every day. First drug offense, non-violent drug offense. Former military man with an honorable discharge. Got caught up in the street life. First offense, 360 months, 30 years. First offense. And, you know, this is what I heard. You know, this is what I saw. So, you know, to me, it would have been, you know, I really wanted the juror to remain on, but he's not. He's gone. So, they brought another girl on. The prosecution brought a new witness on. Her name was Ananya Sankar. She's an employee of the Southern District of New York. She's a paralegal specialist, and she works in trial preparation. She's been in the Southern District of New York for 2 years, and what she did in this particular case is she reviewed the charts, call logs, text messages, cell phone extraction, audio files, and video. What she did was to outline in detail text messages, audio messages, and videos of Jane Doe, Paul, KK, Cassie, Jessica, who was Jessica Ruiz, who is Puffy's travel assistant, Puffy himself, Guido, and a girl named Robin. And they mentioned KK a lot. So I don't know if KK is going to be asked to come and testify. You know, I don't know. They haven't mentioned her name, but I'm certain that with her name being mentioned so many times, Walker Wood, what's up? That either she perhaps was charged and just decided that, listen, I'm not going to testify against Puff. Charge me, do whatever you got to do, send me to jail, whatever, but I'm not going to testify against Puff. Unlike Jane Doe, unlike Mia, unlike Breonna Bogelin, unlike Cassie, unlike Capricorn Clark, unlike David James, you know, these different witnesses that, you know, came to testify against Puff. Layla Zia, what up? Australian dollar, thank you, sir. Shout out to Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, I'm going to business therapy. Yeah, I'm calling you back later.
So that's what it was. You know, they were going through this, and what they're trying to do now is, you know, which is what they've been trying to do. They got this girl on the stand, and she is just corroborating, trying to tie in, you know, flying Paul from LA to Miami is the SEX trafficking, and the SEX PROSTITUON, you know, and she's just, you know, it's all, you know, what they're attempting to prove. We got to see how it all shakes out. Supposedly this week is going to be the final week for the defense, for the prosecution, and then the defense will begin calling their witnesses who will come in and testify for Puff. We got to see who that person, you know, who those people are. I think that's going to be very important. Wayne 704, what's up? I think that's going to be very important. And I think, you know, a lot of the case is going to hinge upon these defense witnesses and what it is they come in and say and what it is they come in and do. But I'm going to get out of here. I think they're supposed to have Brendan Paul, who is they call him the drug mule. We already know what that's going to be. The direct examination, he's probably have immunity, compelled to testify for threat of prosecution. So they're going to put him on the stand, and Federated States of GM Kemet. Why Jules, the male escort, didn't testify? I'm thinking he wasn't there. How do you feel about that? I don't know anything about that, man. Thank you for the super chat, Federated States. You know, so I don't even, you know, at this stage of the game, the prosecution you know, the only way they have been able to they've you know, the only way they've been able to even stay in the same room with Puffy's defense team is that they have to cheat, right? So we already know what they're gonna put Brendan Paul on the stand and say, oh, Puff did this, Puff did that. But what I always look for and what's always most important is the cross-examination. That is the good part. Do me a favor, y'all. Double tap that screen. Give this video a like. So that's where we are. I will be back tomorrow to cover tomorrow's case, and let's see how it goes. And Wednesday I'll be here, and that's where we have it, man. So juror number 6 has been removed. You know, I'm you know what's crazy?
Yeah, and I definitely will make it wait
is that
but I said, okay, you want to be
I was here Friday, and they brought this issue up Friday. And in the morning, Judge Subramanian, he was 9,000% sure and adamant that Juror 6 was not going to be removed. Juror 6 was not going to be removed. He said that out of his mouth a few times. And then he said, let me think about it. At the end of the day, maybe I'll speak with him again, maybe I won't. And we went to lunch. We came back from lunch. They did the evening session. And before he could even speak to juror number 6, he flipped and changed his whole script and said that juror number 6 was out. It was as if a phone call was made to him and somebody told him that juror number 6 was out and he was just carrying out instructions. That's the way it appeared to me, because I can't understand. And even Alexandra Shapiro talks about it in her letter, that, you know, this stark change in opinion from morning to afternoon was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Blazing Marley, what's up? So, you know, but, you know, let's see how it plays out. You know, this one removal of the juror, you know, doesn't mean that other jurors on the jury of different ethnic backgrounds can't determine that, hey, there was no RICO here, right? You know, even the white male alternate that's going to take his place, maybe he feels like Puffy's innocent, you know? So it doesn't really matter the ethnic background or the color. You know, it really comes down to, you know, the facts. And let's see how it shakes out. You know, let's see how it shakes out. You know, that's how it goes. But I'm gonna get up out of here. That's a good question. Maybe Puffy will testify. Maybe Puffy will testify. You know. Let's see how it goes. But I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be uploading videos later today that I'm gonna shoot at home, and maybe I'll go live at home when I get home. So sit tight, share this video, make sure you subscribe. Thank everybody for the super chats. Thank everybody for the cash apps. Follow me on Instagram, The Podcast with Soul. Follow me on Spotify, The Podcast with Soul. Sean G. Peace.